Welcome to Dobby's Repairs. I'm Dobby the Fixing Elf. In this video I'll show you how to change the spark plugs and ignition leads on a 2007 Ford Cmax with a 1.6 petrol engine. So let's get this repair started. So here's a quick look at all the tools you need to do this job. Starting off with a little spark plug gap tester, this is optional. And then we need a 6-inch extension like this one here. Then we also need a ratchet. And then we need a spark plug socket, this is a 16mm spark plug socket. And finally some compressed air of some sort. So I'm just using the compressed air to blow away any debris away from the spark plug holes and if it can fall down into the engine. It's always a good point to do this, just if you don't want anything falling into the engine. You can see, just give it a good old blow. If you have an access compressor that's even better. But this does a really good job, this tin of compressed air. I always like to start with the spark plug furthest away from the coil pack, so this is the first one I'm going to do. Just unpop it from the coil pack and then just pull it all the way along. It's always good to do these one at a time. And just simply pull it along and you see it'll just pop out nice and easily. And then we'll start removing the spark plug. So here we come with our spark plug socket. Remember this is 16mm. And yeah, we'll just get this on and then we'll get a ratchet on it and break it loose. They can be quite tight. You want to do this on a cold engine ideally. If you do this on a hot engine, you risk damaging the threads on the spark plug holes, and we don't want that. So after a little while, we'll get on to hand removing this now. Just quickly run it out by hand. Doesn't take too long really. And then here comes the spark plug, the first one. These spark plugs weren't actually that bad, but the coil leads have failed. So as you can see, it's not a bad spark plug really, but definitely worth changing as we're doing the leads as well. Then we'll put the new one back in, just drop it back in, and remember to always start these by hand. So just pop it in and start it by hand as you can see me doing here. It's not a terribly long process to get these back in, and once you get it as tight as you can by hand, grab your ratchet, and we'll tighten it down. So there we are, and we'll just give it a good old twist and you'll feel it tighten up nicely. You want to over tighten these, but you just get them to a nice tightness. The torque spec is 16mm. Here's the first ignition coil. This kit came with some silicone lubricant. If you haven't got any, make sure you use a bit of silicone just to help protect the electrodes and the rubber and the porcelain on the spark plug. And yeah, all you have to do is just pop it back in. Just pop it back in, you'll hear it pop into place. And then we just need to put the lead back on the other end. This is part of the reason why I like to start the furthest way first, and we just work our way back to the ignition coil, the coil pack should I say, and there's the it going on nice and easily. Once that one's on, we'll start on the next one. So now we're going to move on to the second one. Just pop it out of here. You do it either way, just make sure you just remove one at a time. You don't want to mix these leads up because it will mess up with the firing system. And then this one is opposite, the one diagonally opposite, so say, the one we get first removed. So this one pops out. Bit tough for this one, but it will come off. You'll wiggle, and there it is. And now we'll move on to removing the spark plug itself. The lead's not great. And yeah, here's the spark plug socket going in. And we'll grab our ratchet again and break this one loose. Yeah, once we get the ratchet on, just break it loose nice and easily. It can be a bit tough sometimes, as I said earlier. And once we get it loose, we'll start taking it out by hand the rest of the way. And then once we have it loose enough, it'll pop out nice and easily, or just pull out, should I say, nice and easily. And yeah, out comes the spark plug. Again, this one is not bad, it's not the best condition, but it's not terrible. In comes the new one now. Just drop it back in and start it off by hand. Once we get it down as tight as we can, we'll grab our ratchet and tighten it back down again. And as you can see, pretty simple, just tighten down. And then we'll move on to putting the new lead back in. And here comes the new lead. I've already popped the silicone grease in there, so we'll just pop it back on. And then we'll work it up the other end, doing a bit of cable management as we go. And then all we have to do is just simply pop it on. And it just slides on nice and easily and pops down. Much easier than how it came off. And now we'll move on to the third spark plug. So again, just pop the boot off. The ignition coil boot should come off nice and easily like this one. and then we'll just quickly whip off the third lead from the coil pack. And this is directly opposite the first one we did. So this will come off nice and easily out the way. Then we'll get our spark plug socket in there again. And we'll grab our ratchet and we'll break it loose nice and simply. So while I'm doing this third spark plug, we'll talk about some of the symptoms you may suffer from when you've got bad coil leads or HT leads, depending on what you want to call them, or bad spark plugs. One of the main things is bad fuel economy. You may also get some juddering and poor performance, has a bit of hesitation, something like that. The car may not even start, depending on how bad the leads or spark plugs are. So if you have any of these, it's worth checking your leads and checking your spark plugs. Now we're going to finish putting this spark plug back in. Again, nice and quite simple job really. Just copy what I've done. Again, getting it tight and tight. And yeah, once it's tightened down, we'll get the new lead back on. So here comes the new lead. I'm just going to put some more silicone grease in there. Make sure you do this with all these. It just really does help keep moisture from getting in there and help prolong the life of your boot and your spark plugs. It's pretty good. And yeah, once the boot goes back on, we'll just pop the other end back onto the coil pack. There we are. Just quickly do a bit of cable management too while we're doing this. Not the camera, sorry about that. And there we go, that one's going on now. Quite easy really. As you can see, just get it on there and push it down. Make sure the other leads are down while we're doing that as well. And we'll now remove the last one we need to remove. This is really quite stiff, this one. You can get a pair of pliers and pull these off. And as you see, it pops off now. And here comes the final spark plug lead. There we go. I have to say these do come in a pack of 4. Then the longest one always goes furthest away obviously, and the shortest one goes the closest, and you just work them out which one's which. And the key reason why I'm doing them one at a time is, as I said earlier, so you don't mess up the timing of the vehicle. So by doing them one at a time, you know which leads you've done already, which is always very helpful. You can also mark them with a pen if you're just removing to change the spark plugs. But I find this is the easiest way to do it. And now we're getting the new spark plug back in. It's always useful to have a very good spark plug socket that holds a good firm grip of your socket. You don't want to drop the spark plug down the hole. You may misalign it. But yeah, as you can see, we're going to tighten this one down now. And then we'll move on to the next step. We're just putting the last lead on. So now that's tightened down, we'll grease up the boot again and we'll get it on. So here it comes, pops into place, and we'll plug it in. So the coil pack, as you can see here, nothing too fancy or special, but once it's on, it's on. Now we have the final spark plug lead in. We can move on to the last step, which is a bit of tidying up. As you can see, the engine's running now, and I've done some more tidying to make all the leads look nice and tidy. And that's how you change the spark plugs and ignition leads on a 2007 Ford Cmax with a 1.6 petrol engine. If you enjoyed this video, why not drop a like? Any questions or feedback? Let me know in the comments. I normally drop 2 videos a week. So if you haven't subbed to the channel yet, you should, and then you'll never miss another video. Do you know anyone else who would enjoy watching this video? Then feel free to share it with them. Thanks for watching until the end. Have a sensational day.